begin indeed. Hello people, Sujaro speaking. Welcome to Crazy Bunch Web Show's number 100 and where are we at here? Okay, sorry about that everyone. I was looking at episode numbers on my notes and quarterly is 110. So there we go. Anyway, today we're gonna do not 1, not 2, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold on, start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 depth talks along with the news report we're going to discuss. And of course, some words about Father's Day. So let's talk about it now, shall we? So we got for us. Start with Chris Robinson. Born Christopher Brown Robinson. He was an American actor, screenwriter, and film director. Sometimes credited as Christopher Robinson. Born on November 5th, 1948 in West Palm Beach, Florida. He began his career as the actor in the 1950s. Robinson was a young adult actor and stuntman, appearing in such films in the 1950s as Diary of the High School Bride and Beast of the Haunted Cave. He was a combat in season 1 episode The Reunion in 1982. In the 1960s, he was a flight engineer in the top turret gunner, Technical Sergeant Alexander Sandy Schulze in ABC's 12 O'Clock High, the last 2 seasons. In 1972, he got a lead in the fragile snake genre in the horror movie Stanley. Wow. And then Robinson played Dr. Rick Weber in General Hospital from 1978 to 1986. Following this role, he joined another role in late 1987, where he played the role of Jason Frame and was reunited with Denise Alexander, who had played Leslie on General Hospital. He also was murdered in 1989, early 1989. Jason was murdered in 1989. Anyway, he then appeared on another soap opera, The Bold and the Beautiful, as Jack Hamilton. Joined in the early 1990s, and then leaving after 3 years. He last appeared in the part in 2005, having made several guest appearances over the years. He then returned to General Hospital after a 16-year absence in 2002, after overseeing the character of Rick killed off the controversial storyline that overlaid the backstory. In 2013, he appeared in the 50th anniversary celebration episode as Rick's Spirit, making peace with his old rival Alan Quartermain, Maine, when they both appeared to Margaret Alice's sister Tracy. In 1984, Robinson was the spokesman for Vicks Vormis 44 cough syrup. The commercials air on national television began with the quote, "I'm not a doctor, but I do play on one TV." Robinson was replaced in the commercial by Pierre Bergman, something like that, and after Robinson's legal difficulties. In 2013, his son Chris made a documentary about Robinson's admission with Bee Babies. Robinson invented $100,000 to purchase numbers Bee Babies as investments, but lost the money when the values of the items was plummeted. His last on-screen appearance came in 2022 feature-length film Just for a Week, directed by Michael Jason Allen. His personal life and death goes like this. He was the father of Taylor Joseph Robinson and Chaz C.J. G. Garrison in The Bold and the Beautiful. In 1985, Robinson was convicted of income tax evasion. He was allowed to continue his role in General Hospital under a prison work release provision. He was married to the actress Jacqueline Shea Robinson. He had 5 sons and 3 previous marriages. He died his heart failure in his sleep on his ranch in Tucson, Arizona on June 9, 2025. He was 86 years old. The next step top has to have Cy Shaw, born Sylvia Stewart. He was buried on a stage named Cy Shaw. He was an American musician, songwriter, writer, producer. He was a frontman side of the Family Stone. Something like that. Played a crucial role in the development of spiritual soul and funk with inspiration fusion of soul, rock, and spiritual and gospel in the 1960s and 1970s. All music stated that James Brown had been invented, funk, but Sideswipe perverted it. They credited him as it with creating a series of big yet political charging records that proved a massive influence on artists of all musical and cultural backgrounds. Qualitative credited him as the founder of a progressive soul movement. Born and dead in Texas on March 15, 1943, raised in the Bay Area, city of Roswell, North Carolina, California. Stowe was mastering several instruments in an early age, and a form of gospel music, okay? And the child of siblings with future bandmates, Freddie and Rose. And in the mid-1960s, he worked as both the record producer for Album Records and the disc jockey for San Francisco radio station KDAIA. In 1966, Stowe and his brother Freddie joined their bands together to slide in the family soul. A record integrated mixed gender act. The group of stories hits such as Dance in the Music 1968, Everyday People 1968, Thank You for Finding Me, Mice, Elf Again in 1969. I Want to Take You Higher in the same year, Fairy and Flair 1971, and If You Want Me to Stay 1973. If you claim albums such as Stand 1969, There's a Riot Going On 1971, and Fresh 1973. By the mid-1970s, Stowe drug use and other behavior affiliated the group in 1983, leaving him to record several unsuccessful solo albums. However, he toured and collaborated with artists such as Funkadelic, Bobby Womack, and Jesse Johnson. In 1993, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the group. Alongside the Family Stone tribute in the 2006 Grammy Awards, his first live performance since 1987. He was released an autobiography, Thank You for Me for Being My Mice Elf Again. It was based in a song, in 2023, the biography. Anyway, he was born dead in Texas, like I said before, on March 15th, 1943, before the family moved to Roswell, California, in the North Bay and the San Francisco Bay Area. He was the second of 5 children, born in Casey and Alfred Stewart, a deeply religious couple, as people at the Delusions of the Church of God in Christ, COGIC for short, which was the Stewart family belonging, okay? Both the parents were encouraged musical expression of their musical middle-class household. Sylvester and his brother Freddie, and along with his sisters Rose and Retta, formed the Stewart Four as children, performing gospel music in church. They recorded the vocally released in 1978 RPM single On the Battlefield, BW, Rockin' in Jesus' Name, in August 1956, but however, the eldest sister Roya did not pursue a music career. The others, including younger sister Vasha and Arvette, were later adopted the surname Stone. Okay, and pursue musical interests. He was identified in musical biography by the time he was 7. He was already become prominent on the keyboards, and by the age of 11, he was master of the guitar, bass, and drums as well. While still in high school, he had set probably on the guitar and joined a number of high school bands. One of these is a doo-wop group, which he and his friend Frank Arroyo, who was probably Filipino at the time, were the only non-white members at all costs. During the same period, he was also recording a few solo singles under the name Daddy Stewart. Wow. His brother Fred, he formed several short-lived groups, like the Stewart Bros. After high school, Stone studied music in the Roswell campus of Sorrento Community College, early on, a 5th grade classmate misspelled his name as Sylvester, Sylyvester. Wow. And the nickname has followed him ever after. Wow. In the mid-1960s, Stone worked as a disc jockey for San Francisco, California. Stone radio station KSOL. We did include white performers such as Beatles and Rolling Stones in the playlist. During the same period, he worked as a staff record producer for Album Records, producing predominantly white San Francisco area bands such as the Blue Bombos, the Mojo Man, Bobby Breeman, the Crazy Sticks, first band, the Great Scotty. Okay? Stone was initial official is guiding KSLL FM, something like that. Soul music and started calling it K-Soul. Wow. The second station we was DJ is a popular soul music we call stands for K-Soul, Buccaneer, something like that. At 107.7 FM, now known as KSAN. The current KSLO has a different format related to the previous two stations. Okay? While still providing music in your mind, body, and your soul. KOs on KSL, something like that. Saxophone play keyboard with dozens of major performers, including Diane Warwick, Riley's Brothers, Ronette, Bobby Breeman, George and Tay, Freddie Kane, Marvin Gaye, Dick and Dee Dee, Jan Dean, Gene Sherry, and among others. Including at least 3 of the Twist Party concerts in the chart topper Chubby Checker, held in the Cow Palace in San Francisco in 1952 and 1953. The concerts were played together by Big Daddy, something like that, Tom Donahue, and Bobby Mitchell, and they're from infamous KYA 1268 AM radio station, and largely choreographed by Jerry Maguire and Mel Larson, who was the one who produced many Motown artists such as Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, and some of the other top artists of the day. In 1966, Stein was performing the band signed the Stoners, okay? Which included Sylvia Robertson. And on trumpet, and his brother Frey was working with this band called Frey the Stone Souls. With Greg Ariel and Jerry Marinos for that. One night, the two stood in the kitchen making the decision to fuse the band together, and Barry Graham, who has studied music, who have worked in a number of groups. Working around the Bay Area in 1987, the musical band made a strong impression. Later in 1968, Will Stone joined the band. Shine the Perry Stone's success. As the Molly received the debut album, World New Fame in 1987, Shine the Perry Stone had a first hit single with Dance in the Music. It was later included on the second album, the same name, in 1988. For the first album, Life, also the same year, also suffered low sales. The fourth album, Stand, in 1989, became a runaway success, selling over 3 million copies and swapping the #1 hit single, Everyday People. By the summer of '69, Sly and Family Stone was one of the biggest names in music, releasing 2 more top 5 singles, Hot Fun in the summertime, and Thank You, Finally Be My Elf Again, Every Day by the Star. Before the end of the year, it appeared in Woodstock during the summer of '69. Sly and Family Stone performed at some of the schools, summer soul, some of that concerts in Harlem, and we received a response for that response from the large crowd. And we group began touring with the following success of Dance in the Music album. Is that an album? Hang on. Yes, an album. Never mind. Ferry Stone drew praise in the explosive live show, which attracts black and white fans in equal measure. Bob Marley, which I'm a huge fan of, by the way, first played in the U.S. in 1973 with his band, The Wailers. He opened with a tour with Side of the Family Stone, something like that. Showfall Productions, along with David Comnorix, something like that, who bought Side of the Family Stone to Epic Records. He co-formed Stone Stoneflower Productions, a company that was jointly owned by both of them. Wow. The label had material produced by the company, and of course, Stoneflower Records have their records distributed by Atlantic Records. Wow. Personal problems. With the band's renowned fame and success came numerous problems. Relationship within the band was deteriorated. There were fighting in particular between the Stone Brothers and Larry Graham. Epic requested more commercial output. Black Panther Party demanded Stone make his music more militant with that, and more realistic in the Black Power movement. Replaced George Errol and Jerry Marty with black instruments. And replaced manager David Komarek. Wow. After moving to Los Angeles area in the fall of 1969, Stone's bandmates became heavy users of illegal drugs. Wow. Probably cocaine, PAPC, something like that. As members of the became increasingly focused on drug use and partying. Stone carried the violin case filled with illegal drugs, wherever he want. Wow. According to slow scientifically, between summer 69 and fall 71, band released only one single. Thank You Probably Be My Elf Agent, something like that. I haven't announced anyway. Everybody's a Star in December 1969. This one only first records to report heavy, funky beats, and will be featured in the funk music category of the following decade. And showcase bass player Larry Graham's involvement, purchase play technique of the bass, slapping at all costs. Graham later said that he developed the technique in the earlier band in order to compensate the band's lack of a drummer. Wow. Thank You, Rise and Be Mine again. Anyway, hit number 1 in the Billboard's Hot 100 in the weeks of February 14th, 1970. Stayed there for 2 weeks. The single also peaked at number 5 in the R&B charts, selling over 1 million copies. Having illegally came to Los Angeles with his girlfriend Deborah Cade, later divorced Sinatra, wife Carlos Sinatra from 1973 until his father divorced in 2007. However, Stone's behavior became increasingly ironic. Epic was excited to do material in 1970, but with none forthcoming, something like that. Following some greatest hits that November. 1 year later, the band's 5th album, There's a Riot Going On, was released. Riot featured much darker sound. Most tracks were recorded with overdubbing and as opposed to the Family Stone all playing at the same time as they've done previously. Stone played most of the parts himself and performed more of the lead vocals than usual. This was one of the first major label albums to feature a drum machine. Wow, okay. The band's collection slowly began to erode, but sales probably began to decline as well. Igro withdrew to the group in 1971 and was eventually replaced by Andy Newmark. Larry Graham and Stone were no longer on friendly terms, and Graham was fired in early 1972 and replaced by Rusty Allen. Something like that. Bands later released Fresh in 1973 and Small Talk in 1974, featuring even less of the bands and more of Steve. Wow. I'm Stone, something like that. Anyway. Why Boogie and Sly and the Family Stone have distributed dropped since 1970. because promoters were afraid of Stone or the band members must miss a gig, refuse to play, or pass out and use drug use with that. These issues were regular ruptures in the band during the 1970s, have affected the ability of the band money to provide bookings. In 1970, the same year anyway, 26 of the 80 concerts were cancelled. The numbers of the others were started a lot late. Wow. Many of the gigs, concert goers rioted and the band failed to show up. Or if Stone walked out before finishing his set. Kenny Roberts began the group, Matt Palmer led their general manager. With no other replacement would work in the band because of the riot gig attended records. In January 1975, the band booked itself at Radio City Music Hall in New York City. City Music Hall was only 1/8 of accommodations by that, and Stone and company had to scrape together the money to return home. Following the Radio City Music Hall engagement, the band was dissolved. Wow. So Stone was pulled out of the band by Paula Banks, who was by then her husband. She began a solo career recording a Motown-style album under the name of Rose Banks, wow, in 1976. Freddie Stone joined Freddie Graham's group, Graham Central Station, for the time being. After collaborating with his brother one last time in 1979 for the album Back on the Right Track, he then retired from the music industry and eventually became a pastor on the Emigrants Temple Fellowship Center in Boston, California. Background vocalist trio Little Sister was also involved. Mary McGrevery married Leon Russell and released records of Russell's Cellular Records label. Eddie Newmark became a successful session drummer, playing with John Lennon, the late John Lennon, Roxy Music, B.B. King, and Steve Winwood, among others. Later years, Stone went on to record 4 more albums with the solo artists. Only High of You in 1975 released under this name. The only 3 released under the Scott and Family Stone name. In 1976, Stone attempted a new Family Stone release, Hurry Up, Miss Me, Well, I'm Back. And in 1979's Back on the Right Track, Fall. In 1982, Anybody Only Way was released, which began as a collaboration album with George Clinton, but was scrapped and was later completed by producer Stuart Levine for release. None of these later albums achieved much success. Stone also collaborated with Funkadelic on the Electric Spanking of War Babies in 1981, but was unable to regard his career. In the early 1980s, Sly Stone was also part of George Clinton Funkadelic family project with Margaret Booker called The Soul Jerks, wow, who also recorded an album worth of material, was also only one song was also released. However, Margaret was also still had plans to release the material of the project. In June 1983, Stone was arrested and charged with cocaine possession in Fort Myers, Florida. He served 3 years possession and was in jail again for violating poverty. He then managed to pursue a short tour with Bonnie Ward in the summer of 1984. He then continued to make smart appearances on collaboration with other artists' records. In 1986, Stone was featured on the track of Jesse Johnson's album Shockadella called Crazy. The music video featuring Stone keyboards and vocals received airplay on the BET Music Network. In the same year, in 1986, Stone released a single, Igaboo, Stag Arma Mix, like that, for the Soul Man soundtrack. Anyways, the song "I'm a Burger" for the Burger soundtrack. He also co-wrote and co-produced "Just Like a Tear Tire," which appeared on Bar Keys, case from that from 1989. From 1988 to 1989, Sly Stone wrote and produced a collection of unreleased recordings in his home studio in New Jersey. Coming back for more, it's Just Like a Tear Tire, a part of a collection of about 20 songs. In 1990, he created an energetic vocal performance of Earth, Wind & Fire song, Good Time. In 1991, he appeared on the cover of Thank You, Proud Me, Be Myself Again, performing the Japanese band 13 Cats. Wow. It shared lead vocals with Bobby Womack and When the Weekend Comes, Womack's 1993 album, I Still Love You. In 1992, Sly and Family Stone appeared on the Wayhawk Organization's Dance Combination album, Wayhawk Plus and Dance. But anyway, contributing the original track, Thank You, for Gravity to Be Myself Again, tossed CD mix, and album attempted to raise awareness and money in support of the AIDS epidemic, and all proceeds were donated to AIDS charities. In 1995, year I was born in, X-Ray Ward, Chase Melon III, excused Stone, the trash in the Beverly Hills mansion Mellon raided for him in 1993. Mellon said that he found bathrooms smeared with gold paint. Wow. Mirror floors of blackened with that. Wheels broken, the giant stone emerged from a guest house instead. You spy on me, Sly Jr. said. Then studied to be recording engineer, told people. Nobody prefers destroying the house. Jeez. A phone parties my dad has been getting a few together from that. We were aware of the damage. The damage, however, was not just superficial. Sly never grew out of drugs, said ex-wife Celia from that. He lost his backbone and destroyed his future. Wow. His last major public appearance until 2006 was during the 1993 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, where Stone showed up on stage and by entering into a Hall of Fame along with the Family Stone. In 2003, the other 6 members of the original Family Stone entered the studio to record the album. Stone was invited to participate but declined. Anyways, August, a few home studio recordings from the 1980s with Stone's voice and keyboards. Another drum machine have made into a bootleg for that. One step Stone up had demo called Coming Back to More appears in the blog, includes the verse Been So High, Touch the Sky, and Sky says, Sly, will you try to get by? His son, Sir Stewart Jr. told People magazine in 1997 that his father had been composed an album worth of material he could attribute to Miles Davis called Miles and Miles. Wow. August 15th, 2005, Stone drove his younger sister Yvette Stone on his motorcycle to Los Angeles Canadian Factory, where Yvette was performing with Sky and the Family Stone tribute band. The probably affair. Stone would keep his helmet on during this entire performance and described it with one concert guard as looking for little like Policy Collins. Wow. Film crew was during the documentary Sly and the Family Stone released on August Sly, In Search of Family Stone, and the rest of the show captured some rare flying on film. Stone recording this website was producing and writing material for the group's new album. In addition, Stone renamed the group Family Stone. Wow. And in 2009, the documentary film Coming Back for More detailed this dire financial situation. In August 2009, The Guardian reported that forthcoming documentary Come Back for More by Dutch director William Negras for that. Claimed Stone he was homeless and living off of the wildfires from that, while staying in the cheap hotels and camper vans for that. Film agonized as Stone former manager Jerry Goldstein cut off his assess and royalty payments part of the dispute on the debt agreements for that. Forcing Stone to depend on welfare payments. On September 2011, Agnew wrote in the New York Post that Cy Sloan was homeless, living out in a white camper van in Los Angeles. The van is parked in Rachel Street in Crenshaw, that the rough Los Angeles neighborhood was Boys in the Hood was set. That retired couple was making sure he was eat once a day, from that. Stone showers of their house. Wow. Stone has filed suit against Goldstein for $50 million in January 2010, causing Goldstein to cheat him out of years' worth of royalty payments for the songs he had written. Wow. He testified it was not been paid any royalties between 1989 and 2009. His violation feature claimed that Goldstein has used farming practice to convince him and to give up his rights in the songs. He made the same claim that Sly and the Family Stone trademark. Goldstein filed a suit. The Sly followed the by Stone the Clash Festival. In January 2015, when that Los Angeles jury ruled in favor of Stone, awarded him $5 million. Along with December 2015, the award got overturned when the appeal court ruled that the trial judge have not told the jury to take into account the fact that Stone is signed the royalty. Well, just want that to the production company that engaged in 50% ownership stake. In May 2016, Stone's lawyers appealed their decision. In mid-2000s tribute, anyway, a Sly Family Stone tribute to take place in the 2006 Grammy Awards on February 8, 2006, which Stone gave his first live musical performance since 1987. Wow. Sly original Family Stone lineup, minus Mary Graham, performed briefly during the tribute to the band, for which the headliners include Steven Tyler Aerosmith, John Legend, Ron Hunt, Nile Rodgers, and Robert Randolph. Sporting a rose blonde mohawk, fake sunglasses, a solid butt buckle, and silver lamb suits, my dad. Joining the song, I Want to Take You Higher. Hunched over the keyboards, he wore a cast on his right hand. The result of a recent motorcycle accident. The hunchback caused him to look down through most of the performance. His voice was strong, but very available over the production. Stone walking in front of the stage. Towards the end of the performance, singing a verse, and band went away for the audience, saw it off stage before the song was even over. He went up the ramp outside the theater, got off the motorcycle, and took off. However, the executive producer of the Grammy Awards show told the Chicago Sun-Times. He also said that Stone had refused to leave his hotel room until he was given the police escort to the show, and then waited in his car until the performance began. Sly and the Family Stone tribute album, Different Strokes by Different Folks, was released on July 12, 2005 by Starbucks Hair Music Label and on February 7, 2006 by Epic Records. The project features both cover versions of the band songs and songs which samples the original recordings. Among the other artists on the recordings were The Roots, Star with samples by River is a Star, Ryan 5 and Cara, and Right Day People. John Lennon, John Stone, Red Hot, Very Affair, Black Eyed Peas, Will I Am, Dancing to Music, and Steven Tyler, Joe Perry of Aerosmith, Robert Randolph. I Want to Take You Higher. Epic Records version of the tribute album was included 2 official covers. Don't Call Me, I'm not going to say the N word in this special, sorry. White Ladies, like that. And Thank You, Finally Be Myself Again. It was released on January 26, 2006. Anyways, anyway, move on. Next, Reemerge, okay? On Sunday, January 14th, 2007, okay? Stone made a short guest appearance, at the show, the new Family Stone band. He supported the House of Blues. On April 1st, 2007, Stone appeared with the Family Stone, the Flamingo, Las Vegas showroom at the George Wallace stand-up act. On July 7, 2007, Stone made a short appearance in the Family Stones and the Chevrolet San Jose Summerfest. He sang a single symbol song, If You Want Me to Say. Walk up stage before the end of Higher. Wow. So cut it short, set short. He paused dirt because the band began to set over 9 minutes late. Wow. And had to finish before a certain time. Wow. Many blame Stone for the incident. Others believe that the promoter was at fault. The summer scene that took place in the Marx Jazz Festival on July 13, 2007. We were having a sold-out venue, walking in disgust before the stage exit. A day later, the Blue Note Records Festival in Bonham, he left the stage after telling the audience that when waking up in the morning, that morning he realized he was old. Wow. So he needed to take a breakdown. He repeated that behavior the day after while was performing the new North Sea Jazz Festival. Anyway. As the tour progressed, however, Stone seemed to be more confident and animated, something like that. Often dancing and engaged in the audience, he performed Stand, I Want to Take You Higher, sing a single song, If We Want to Take We Stay, and Thank You, Family, to Be Myself Again. Which at one point morphed into Thank You for taking me, talking to me, Africa. Okay? Track rarely performed in public, but the show was marred by sound problems, and the vocals were very unable to talk through much of the show. On October 17, 2008, he played this part with the Family Stone in the Wells Fargo Center Yards in San Francisco, California. He played a 22-minute set, visual off stage. Tell the crowd, I gotta go. I'm not gonna say that in special. Yeah, I'll be right back. Wow. He never returned. Memorial Day 2009, Stone emerged once again, programming an hour-long interview with KCRW-FM, a Los Angeles NPR affiliate, to discuss his life and career. On Labor Day 2009, Stone appeared at the 20th annual African Festival Yards in Chicago, Illinois, with George Clinton and prominent Funkadelic, something like that. Anyways, on December 2009, Stone signed a recording contract with the LA-based Columbia Records. On August 16, 2011, I'm back Family and Friends was released. His first album since 1982, but the one way. Anyway, but the album features a re-recorded version of Silent Family Stone's hits with guest appearances from Jeff Beck, Ray Manzarek, Boozy Collins, and Wilson, Carmen Abnite, and Johnny Winter, among others, as well as the 3 previously unreleased songs. Anyway, Stone appeared in later years with George Clinton and performed with his daughter, you always bad, Barry Baby Stone. Wow. In January 2015, Cy Stone, along with 4 of his bandmates, appeared on the exhibition and dedicated honoring the band and its legacy called Love City Convention. In honor of the Oakland logos inside the book Oakland Fear. In October 2023, Stone's autobiography, Thank You for Allowing Me to Be Myself Again, was published. In December 2023, the single called Santa Claus is Coming to Town 2023 mix was released by Commercial Records. Film and television. Greg Zola made a documentary about Sly Stone. Sly's talk, small talk about Sly. It began on prior to 2006. It completed prior to 2017, and it been started by Ellen Exer's book, Back Book is one that, prior to its Volume 13 book rework. The series of interviews about the musical background, the collaborations of Sly Stone and visual sessions. Michael Rexon Bullet Stones on the Sly in Search of Family Stone was released in 2017. The book film, Ren Stone travels across the United States, the band to track down those who are involved with Sly Stone. The film played in the Slam Dance Film Festival. The documentary Sly lives in the burning black genius of Armor Questville Loves from that Thompson was released in 2025. It explores the challenged black performance phase. Celebrities how Stone was able to establish his healthy life and the partnerships of Stone business and fame. Some interviews of small talk about Sly and Michael Ralston Stones on the Sly in Search of the Family Stone were used in the documentary. Before he died, he was working on a screenplay based on the 2024 memoir. Spencer commented, Sly recently completed the screenplay of his life story. The project was eager to share with his world the chorus. Legacy. According to James Brown, along with James Brown and prominent funk videos when that Sly Family Stone pioneers in the late 60s and early 70s funk. The fusion of R&B rhythms, original melodies, psychedelics when that created a new pop soul rock hybrid. The comeback which have proven lasting widespread. Motown producer Norman Whitefield, for example, powered the label's forays into high-handle driving. Socially relevant material such as Templeton's Railway Child and Ball for Confusion based on their sound. The pioneer president of Stone's racial, I'm not going to say this word in the special episode, sorry, mix. Anyway, had major influence on the 1980s. And artists such as Prince and Rick James, riches in their artists in the 1990s, such as Public Enemy, Fatboy Slim, Beck, BC Boys, and LA Cool J's. Popper's Mama said Knock You Out, along with many others. Slime Stone's summer back catalog Hook Lane Sables. Spotlight with children, family, and death. Okay? Stone producer Terry Mutcher spent time together in Marshall's home in the late 1960s. And on more than one occasion, Stone saw Charles Manson's there, some of that. And according to Stone, in 2009 interview with LA Weekly's Reynolds Roberts, we was once at Matcher's home playing music and have a small disagreement with Manson there. Though Stone did not know who Manson was in the time. So Matcher's mother, Doris Day, wow. Though through Matcher's with Stone was interested in the old car when we went by with one of them owns on that. When he met Day, he told her how much he liked her song, whatever it will be, something like that. And they sat at the piano sang it. However, after that, a woman spent the Stone Day were involved romantically. Oh God. Stone married model and actress Kathy Silver, June 5th, 1974, during a sold-out performance on Madison Square Garden. The outfits are designed by Halson, something like that. The main actress plans for a laser light show. A real life angel provided with wires dropping gold glitter all over the crowd. And for thousands of doves to be released, the SPCA threatened a lawsuit. Wow. Which kept the doves from flying the garden, and the garden will let the human angel fly unless so. The company posted a $125,000 series security bond. They declined to fund the fee and also opted not to pay the $200 for that extra security guards. The venue demanded order to allow the wedding party to stage a special right for the audience. They separated in 1976, and after the son was mauled by Stone's dog. Wow. So it was later told by People magazine that they wanted the world of drugs and weirdness. Stone should remember, he wrote to me a song and promised to change. I tried that again. We're always fighting and getting back together. Children. Stone's son, Silver Jr. was born in late 1973. And his mother was Kathy Silva. His first daughter, Sylviette, was now getting by her middle name, how to pronounce it, sorry, was born in 1976. Her mother was Stone's band member, Sylvia Robinson. Stone's second daughter, Norma Campbell was born in 1982, something like that. Singer and performer, also was booking agent for the Little Temple Club in Los Angeles, and currently a co-host with the popular public radio station KCRW on morning becomes Athletics with that. Her family, his family goes like this. Stone's cousin Moses Tyson Jr. is a gospel musician and organist. He died on June 9, last Monday, June 9, 2025, at his home in Glamis Hills, Los Angeles. He was 82 years old. His family said in a statement he provided Rolling Stone that Stone has died from on Alzheimer's, polycystic disease, and other underlying health issues. This is a long read. My next step topic has to do with Barbara Horridge, born Barbara Ann Cullen. She was a American recording executive together with her business partner Marian Mino. Okay, she co-founded Coleman Records in 1952. Okay, excuse my birthday. Probably female-owned company Coleman stressed gender equally focused on her many women's rights. Okay, she was a pioneer in genre spoken word lottery recordings, and it was considered to have laid the foundation of modern audiobooks. She was born in 1929, July 26, in New York City. She attended Hunter College, New York, with a bachelor's degree in 1950 after majoring in humanities. She led the Pi Kappa and graduated with cum laude. She contributed to graduate education in humanities in Columbia University, also New York, something like that. But then turned attention to filing copying records for her college friend Marian Romy in 1952. Something like that. And her career began the same year. Horridge was working with Wire publishers in New York, and Romy Mental, something like that, was employed by a New York recordings producer, where they heard that Welsh poet David Dylan Thomas was going to be speaking at 92nd Street YMCA. They had went to her read his poetry, something like that. Parton sent Thomas a note offering him the business position. The record that Thomas reading his poetry, and the partners would market this recording under the new anyway, let me speak up. The market recordings under the newly conventions record label Columbia Records for that. Columbia Records. She agreed, and Columbia agreed. Thomas agreed. And on February 22nd, 1952, Surrey Hall, Thomas Holdridge and Monroe made history in the Polish read of the story of Charles Christmas of Wales, the B-side of the album. According to the Library of Congress, the recording noise has been credited with launching the automobile industry. The company was named in the 7th century Poland Carmen. Wow. The first English Poland by name. Party set up in a small office in New York and began to invite other poets and authors to read their own works. The lineup of writers includes Thomas Mann, E. Cummings, Ursula McLynch, Ernest Hemingway, Marianne Moore, Orion Whitley, Catherine Empire, among others. And by 1959, Common has received revenues of $500,000. By 1966, Common has grown $14 million. Wow. They have 36 employees working in 8,000 square foot, 743 meters, something like that, office in Midtown Manhattan. The party sold Common in 1970 to DC Health and Company, something like that. And somebody of Raven Howard remained in Rapid Common for initial 5 years as president and a regularized company. Post-Rapid Common, she founded Seymour House Publishers in 1975, first general book publishers themselves in the state of Maryland. Seymour published both fiction and non-fiction works with that. The company began known for its children's books and their International Design Library. 2003, she sold Seymour House Publishers. She bought book publishing and writing at Marshall College and the adjunct professor. She creates British House Publishers and hands-on learning projects and courses. The World Department of Commissions took over the ongoing publishing entirely. Until her death, she continued the research on Army Phillips and some of that. It was considered to be operated artist with that, which is now renowned among art historians, art critics, and scholars of art, American arts with that. A royal art account of the couple's discovery of Phillips, previously unknown, as an American master of potential was recorded in 2022 by the Museum of American Folk Art in the series on important American art and researchers by that. Anyway. His awards and recognitions. In 2002, Howard were inducted in the National Women's Hall of Fame and Statue in the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame. She was also inducted in the Psi Kutal Delta, the English Honorary Society. She, together with Mari Mattel, was given a special Lifetime Achievement Award at the Honorary Awards 2001 for founding Qualman Records. Together, her husband Howard is recognized as a co-discoverer and researcher in the 19th century American poet painter Army Phillips, who works on the display at important museums and several different unknown American masters. Larry and Robert Ulrich were recognized and honored by the Museum of American Folk Art for their important composition of art, for a dedication to the greenest gardens with that, and beautifying the grounds for her home in the 18th century senior house, Allens Mills, Maryland. She received an award for Baltimore County Historic Trust in 2007. She was serving the board of directors by Army Association of Greaters Baltimore at the time of her death. personal life and death. In 1959, Barbara Cohen married Ray Hargreaves, and self-employed Baltimore, Maryland hardware engineer. She was then moved to Maryland. Together they raised twin daughters, Eleanor and Diana. She was an avid gardener, and their gardens have been included on tours conducted by Maryland House and Garden College in Maryland Harlem Central Society. She died in Mount Baltimore, Maryland on June 9th, 2021, which was last Monday. She was 95 years old. The next step topic has to Frederick Forsyth. Born Frederick McCarthy Forsyth. He was an English novelist and journalist, but he was best known for thrillers and, of course, such as The Day of a Jackal, Arnold File, The Dogs of War, The Devil's Honoreth, The Fist of God, Icon, The Veteran, Avenger. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it. AFGHIN. Can't pronounce it. Sorry. Kuba, The Kill List. His works fairly appear on the bestsellers list, and more than a dozen of his titles have been dubbed to film. By 2006, he sold more than 70 million books in more than 30 languages. Wow. He was working as a journalist, first by Reuters in 1961, before someone that saw him to correspond in 1965 for BBC. He also primarily wrote the column in the Middle Market newspaper in Daily Express, often recognized racial issues, and such as writing on the subject of climate change. Born in 1938 of August 25th at Oxford, Kent, and educated in the Cambridge School, private boy in the day school in the marketing town of Cambridge, Kent. His military journalism began with this. Before becoming a journalist, he completed the national service in the Royal Air Force as a pilot, in which he flew the D-Average Vampire. He was commissioned to the rank of anti-pilot officer on August 28, 1956, becoming sergeant to that rank in 1 year later. After completing his full-time national service, he was transferred to the Royal Air Force on October 30th, 1958. With the rank of flying officer, he was joined Reuters in 1951 and then in 1955 with the BBC, for which he served the assistant diplomatic correspondent. He was reported his early activities as a journalist. His early career was spent covering French affairs and attempted the assassination of Charles D. Gaulle. He had never been in Africa until reporting the Nigerian Civil War between Liberia and Nigeria as a BBC correspondent. He was there for the first 6 months of 1967. Anyway, but through a few expected the war of the last war, concerning the poor weaponry and preparation of the Bavarians when compared to the British armed Nigerians. After 6 months were over, however, forces were eager to carry on report, approached the BBC to ask if he could have more time there. He noted the response to this. It was so quite bluntly that it was not our policy to cover this war. This is a period that when the Vietnam War was front page headlines almost every day. Something like that. Regarding that, broadly, the American COCK anyway, up, and it's probably British COCK anyway, up, is Nigeria, and not going to be covered. I smelt news management and don't like news management, so I made a private vow to myself. You may, gentlemen, not be covering it, but I'm going to cover it. So I quit and flew over there and stayed there for more than the next 2 years. He also then returned to Bavaria. The freelance reporter writing his first book, Bavaria Story, in 1989. In August 2015, he revealed that Bavaria was forming MI6, something like that. Anyway, a relationship that continued for 20 years. According to Forbay, who was not paid. Wow. Forbay was a radio commentary of racial issues. He was also wrote for newspapers throughout his career. Up until August 2023, wrote a weekly column in the Daily Express. In 2003, he criticized gay bashers of churches. In the Guardian newspaper. He narrated several documentaries including Jesus Christ Airlines, Soldier, and A History of Man and About, and I Never Forgotten You, The Life and Legacy of Simon Winslow, something like that. That's why my career began with this, okay? According to him, Forshaw, something like that, he turns to write fiction, but was born with professional needs. He did not think of himself cut off to be a novelist. As a boy, he said, I want to be a fire jock, okay? And when he traded his career to IAF and journalism, it was to see the world and perform the war correspondent. He became a novelist. He said, I never want to be a writer, but wrote this first full-length novel. Then Jackal became this with his sketch. Suddenly broke. He appealed similar research techniques developed using journalism. Published in 1971, the book became the international bestseller, gained an offer an Edgar Poe Award for Best Novel in 1982. In this story, in the organization armed Saturday hires an assassin to kill the then French President Charles de Gaulle. Wow. It's made in the film the same name and featured the television series. Okay. Gaulle's second full-length novel, National Fall of 1982. A poor eventually to track down SS officer in commercial Germany. Reporter discovered him via the diary of a Jewish Holocaust survivor who died of suicide earlier. But he was being shielded by an organization that protects as whatever it was. It was called Auditia. This book was later made into a movie of the same name, starring John Voight. It was a subject of auditions. Beta novels and readers assumed that it was a centralized Auditia organization where he existed. But historians disagree. In Dogs of War in 1974, British mining executive hired a group of mercenaries to overthrow the government of an African country that was to be install a puppet migraine that would allow him to cheap assess the constitutional prime or reverse from that. The book was also adapted in the 1980 film the same name, starring Christopher Walken, Tom Bergeron. The Shepherd was also an illustrated novel published in the 1975 thing. It was also tells Nightmare Journey by the RAF pilot who flies home for Christmas in the late 1950s. Something like that. His attempts to find a racial explanation of his initial rescue proved as a troublesome experience. Farthest came The Devil's Underway of 1979, which is set in 1982. In this book, the Soviet Union faces its greatest grain harvest. The U.S. is ready to help for some political and military concessions. Let me just see. Let me scroll down a little bit. Anyway, a partial fashion flight ensures war is posed as a solution, something like that. Anyway, Ukrainian freedom of virus, my dad culminates with that situation later. In the end, a Swedish oil tanker built in Japan. Wow, okay. A Russian airliner hijacking the West Berlin, and various governments by themselves involved. In 1982, No Comebacks is a collection of 10 short stories that was published. Some of these stories would have been written earlier. Many of these sets were Republic of Ireland, he was living at the time. One of them, there were no snakes in Ireland. One of them, the second Ecological Pole War. The fourth protocol was published in 1984 and involved regulated elements within the Soviet Union attempting to plant an atomic bomb near the United States Air Base in the United Kingdom, attempting to influence the upcoming British elections and led the election anti-NATO, anti-American, anti-nuclear, pro-Soviet Labour government. The 1987 adoption of the thriller film starred Pierce Brosnan and Michael Caine, who's later become Scrooge Muppet's Christmas Carol at the time. His 10th book, which came in 1989, with the name narrative for that, which the United States President's son is kidnapped. Wow, and one man's job is to navigate these leads. 2 years later, in 1991, the debut was published. It includes four short stories revealing the career of the British secret agent Sam McCurry. It was a star in the novel, the permanent undersecretary of the state, PUSS for short, of the Forget Prominent Office requires a chief of SIS, some of that, to push Sam into early retirement. The four stories are presented to the Quiz Committee in an attempt to allow Sam to send active duty to the SIS. In 1994, he published Fist of God, the novel which concerns the First Gulf War. Project Railroad and cooperation between English agencies. Next, in 1996, he published Icon, about rise of eventual power to post-Soviet Russia. Wow. For his then published Farm Manhattan, the sequel to Farm Opera. Wow. It was intended to the departure of the usual genre. His explanation that I have done menageries, assassins, murders, terrorists, special force soldiers, fire pilots, you name it. I got a fake good infantry writing about the human art. However, it did not achieve the same success as his other novels, but he was essentially returned to modern-day thrillers. Wow. 2001, The Veteran, another collection of short stories, was published following The Avenger, published in September 2003, about a Canadian billionaire who hires Vietnam veteran to be his grandson's killer to the United States. Wow. The novel was adapted in the film starring Sam Elliott and Timmy Houghton for that. Another novel written by him was I'm not gonna say it, AFTGA for that. Was published in August 2006. So a very near future. The threat of the combating assault in the West discovered the senior Al-Qaeda members' computer. Wow. Computer was the leader of the United States and the United Kingdom with the attempt to spy Garrett. Wow. Some of the seasoned British operative retired Colonel Mike Martin, a Fist of God, from the applicants from the Thailand, commanded to being held prisoner in the Colonial Bay. Corporate published in 2010. It features some of the characters previously featured in Adventure. Okay? And I've been subject to an attempt to destroy the world trade cocaine. In August 2013, his novel The Kill List was published. It was announced earlier that June that the year that Robert Sanders would be directing the film version that day. In September 2013, his autobiography, The Outsider, Life in the Instrument, was published. In January 2018, it was announced that he was publishing his 18th novel, a thriller that was computer hackers inspired by Roy Love and Jerry McKinnon's stories. The Fox was published in the same year as Roger Fuller, regarding his highly skilled autistic hacker. Wow, that's just scary enough. His other awards goes like this. In February 16, 2012, Crime Writers Association announced that Fry has won the Carter Diamond Dagger Award and the Radiation Inspired Award. He also appointed the commander of the British Empire, CBB for short, in 1997's New Year's Honors list with the service literature. His political views, he was a Robbie conservative, he was a patron of Better Off Out, something like that. An organization called the Britain's withdrawal from the European Union. He was supporting Brexit, something like that. In 2003, he won the U.S. award from the Cardiff Way for group of the service and criticism movement in Britain. In the run-up to 2005 general election, he called the impeachment of Tony Blair over the 2003 invasion of Iraq and led his support of the anti-war measures Red case. Wow. Son of Blair's commission's Seinfeld. In 2016, he was featured as a character in Rag, one-off BBC real-life drama about Red K's campaign. In the program, he was portrayed by Tim, something like that. Anyway, pronounce his last name. Sorry, anyway. Zamenhof appeared in the BBC's political panel show Question Time as a guest. Zalman expressed the subject of climate change in the Daily Express column when he wrote of him. Personal life and death, okay? He married former model Call Me Ham in 1983. The marriage was produced for 2 children and a divorce in 1988. He also married Sandy Smalley in 1994. Molly died in October 2024. He also had a relationship with actress Faye Dunaway. Forever previously resided in a 26-room manor house in East End Green, Oxfordshire, England, which is family before moving to Buckingham in 2010. In 2016, he said he was giving up with writing thrillers because his wife had told him he was too old to travel to dangerous places. He died in his home in Jordan's Buckinghamshire on last Monday. He was 86 years old during a brief illness. My next topic has to do with Gary England, born Gary Allen England. Anyway, he was an American meteorologist. Anyway, the chief meteorologist of KWTV-DT, Channel 9, the CBS affiliate television station in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, to the United States. England was the person on air meteorologist that alerted the spheres and possible tornado using the commercial Doppler weather radar. He's also known for contributing the invention of the first Warren map graphic community used to show ongoing weather alerts without interrupting regular programming. He's also the Vice President of Corporate Relations of Weather Department of Griffin Communications LLC, the parent company of WKWTV, although the company used the same single-story building as the studio. He was born on October 3rd, 1949 in City, Oklahoma. Hazel and Leslie England. He lived in England, but was mostly raised in the Salem area. But like many meteorologists, a dramatic area experience of the weather shaped his interest. For England, the 1947 Gyres, hailings, warlords, tornadoes, which just wiped out much of the nearby railroads from that. Shut out among the very memorable experience with western Oklahoma weather. He counted the upper weather, including tornadoes, blizzards, dust storms, flash floods, and wildfires. Wow. Exposed his interest in weather. After graduating from high school, he joined the U.S. Navy at age 17, where he first began to study weather seriously. He attended the University of Oklahoma and graduated in 1965 with a BS in mathematics and meteorology. Meteorology was that. He then spent 4 years as a consulting meteorologist and oceanographer for H. Graham and Associates in New Orleans, Louisiana. Broadcasting career began with this. His broadcasting job was a source stand KTOK, Oklahoma City talk radio station. England began working at KWTV on October 16, 1972. A few months later, KWTV introduced the first radar station system designed for television. During a live cut by England on May 24, 1973, for the tornado warning, Canadian country Cali Channel 9 viewers saw a radar image damaging F4 tornado near Union City in Canadian country, Cali, something like that. Was that Oklahoma? Let me see. Yeah, that's Oklahoma. Okay. Saw a radar image in Canadian County was resulting in the existing damage in this small town. Union City tornado was about almost the first commercial case study ever in a tornado. It also marks the first time the visual awareness of chasers was used in conjunction with Doppler radar data. Original video of England's live cut in Union City's tornadoes in 1973 is often still used today, and Channel 9 is probably used in England and is still serves weather coverage. England was recognized along with the firm Enterprise Electronics Corporation as initially developing the first commercial Doppler weather radar. While the National Weather Service is only one legally responsible for the issue warnings in the United States, England is credited with the issuing the first televised Doppler weather radar bulletin for the tornado in March 1982. Despite of some sources, there was an earlier radar bulletin issued by Gil Whitney and of WHIO-TV in Dayton, Ohio during April 3rd, 1974 April tornado. However, the radar was used by WHIO during the April tornado, but was commercial radar, not the Russian radar. Wow. 1990, he helped create Firstborn, a state map which appeared in the sun corner of the television screen. Countries colorized in the storm watches and warnings. In 1991, England also helped create Storm Tracker, a commercial computer program that provided the audience the time of arrival of severe weather. First weather warning and Storm Tracker are used nationwide. He also helped create iNews, a computer program since discontinued that allowed PC users to receive both service weather and breaking news alerts on their computer. On July 23rd in 2013, KWTV announced that England will be relieving this position of KWTV to become Vice President of Corporate Relations and Weather Development of Griffin Communications. Parent company KWTV DT. Both Griffin and KWTV are located in the same single-story building. England was to be succeeded by David Payne. In England's final day on KWTV, Harry meteorologist on August 30th, 2013. With the last forecast given on August 28th. England's retirement was been agonized since Payne was joined the station in January. Although England was previously said he was expected to leave on October 2014. His whole work began with this. He was at a cameo appearance on KWTV's archives during the opening scene and served as one of the free weather announcers in the 1996 movie Twister. He also served as a correspondent of the film. After the May 3rd, 1999 tornado outbreak, he also had over 50 national and international weather specials. In 2007, he wrote and recorded part of the soundtrack for the weather on an episode of the cable show Saving Grace. England wrote several books on Oklahoma Weber, including his 1996 autobiography, Weber the Storm, which he signed Harry Walkman. His influence on his career. A new biography of his Stephen by Bob Brook was published in December 2006, titled Friday Night in the Big Town. He rejected the outbreak of climate change, believed that cycling change due to many factors. A KWTV probably was featured in the Daily Show piece regarding global warming on June 14, 2007. But the piece started with comments on global warming. The Oklahoma Senator James Unholt regarding the Weather Channel's chief meteorologist statement that American meteorologists, the Society AMS for short, should not clarify anyone who does not accept global warming, something like that. Unholt argued that Weather Channel needs global warming in order to scare viewers and boost ratings. The Daily Show followed Unholt's comments by playing the KWTV's Calm During the Storm preview, where Weber is running for the Warwick tornado, covered the basement, family hears England's voice in the television, and the mother says by her son, closing their hands, "Okay, baby, listen to Gary Egan. He's going to let us know." In which the host, John Stewart, marks the scenes with listen to Gary Egan, or your children will die. Oh, God help me. They shall call Nets, England, and then home from with both being in Oklahoma. Wow. England was interviewed in the episode of Monster Quest entitled Identifying Creatures, where he comments on tornadoes footage was that capture of rods flying through the sky. In the interview, he comments on the phenomena without going to a subordination regarding its cause. He made a cameo appearance in the 2021 fantasy movie Ice Boys with his Weatherman. Wow. Popular pop culture. He saw a pop culture icon in Oklahoma City, some cult like Folly. His organizes homespans by that phrase, but it's becoming local folklore. Jump back, fall me down, Gloria. It's Friday night in the big town. England is probably described as having a folksy and upbeat sense of humor and person that first country. In 1996 movie Twister, footage of Gary England forecast in November 19th, 1973, which featured the said film's dramatic opening scene. He was married to Mary Snee Smith, England, for 63 years. They have one daughter. Outside of his career, he enjoyed spending time outdoors, especially fishing. He died in Oklahoma City last Tuesday. He was 85 years old. He was in hospital care for after he was struck with 3 years prior. My next topic has to do with Travis Carr. Born that name, he was a car and crew chief in NASCAR's Women Cup Series. Watch this Alex Paris NASCAR for you. He served as a crew chief for 2 decades. Born November 24th, 1949, Everby, North Carolina. Anyways, winning the championship with Barry Parsons in 1973. Anyways, Carr was put in the crew chief with the Parsons and won 1975 Diet 500. He owned Trevor Carr Motorsports from 1978 to 2003. He was uncle of NASCAR crew chief Larry Carr, the father of NASCAR driver Matt Carr. He died on last Tuesday. He was 75 years old. That was a quick on death topics like this. How long is this? 1 hour 23 minutes. Be right back, boys. Stand by. I'm back, folks. Sorry about that. I have to get myself some water real quick so I can finish up my Crazy Bunch web show. It's gonna be quick because if I don't do this quickly, then I have to get ready for Father's Day by 1:30 p.m. or 12:30 p.m. to get ready for 1:30 p.m. Anyways, my next topic has to do with Don Moore, born Donald Graham Moore. He was American Jazz double bassist. He was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on August 14th, 1938. He began an interest in bass around the age of 18. He played and recorded the Irish Shep, Don Curry, and Melbourne, New York, 1985, in Europe, 1963. Later in the 60s, he worked with Jackie McLean, something like that. He recorded with Elvin Jones in 1966, and Quiver was born in 1987. He died on last Tuesday. He was 86 years old. The next step, Thomas has with Horace Yolen, born Horace Bart Goldberg. He was best known professionally as Horace Yolen, was an American actor who appeared in 100 films and television series roles, such as Night Movies 1985, film 1983 with late Gene Hackman, St. Ives 1986 with Charles Bronson, Scarface 1983, Ghostbusters 2 1989, Career Present Danger 1994, something like that. Looking for Richard 1996, Bean 1997, Hurricane 1999, Train Day 2001, and Frasier, which earned him a Primetime Emmy Award for nomination in 1996. Anyway. Born in Los Angeles on November 5th, 1947. He was at the origin of the infant when he was adopted by Dennis Isaac Goldberg. Wow. Anyways, and his wife, Sylvia, when he was 4 months old. It was given given the name Horace Bart Goldberg when he began a performing career. He took his stage star name, Yolen, when his adopted father's extended Russian Jewish family. Wow. Okay, makes sense now. Yolen attended the University of Southern California, but did not graduate, but enlisted in the U.S. Army for a year. But he moved to Florence, where he was tried working as a preparer, describing himself in 2000 as he should be bad at it. In 1962, he lived in Tel Aviv when his friends encouraged him to try acting. He was appeared in the small role shows. When he returned to the United States, he began to meet acting coach Jeff Gorey, with connections with his father. Dental career, began studying acting. His acting career began with this. He in his New York debut in 1953 for Next Time I'll Sing With You by James Saunders, and continued this work for Fear throughout his career. His Broadway debut came in the 1980s, Watching the Rain, rhymes with that. He returned to Broadway multiple times in productions of The Visit, The Diary of Anne Frank, I hate Anne Frank, The Passion, sorry. The Prize, and Abby Kramer. In 2010, he played Willie Robin in The Death of the Salesman, The Gates Pier, and Dublin Island. His first film role was in the portrayal of Herb in Dark in 1971, something like that. Starring Stacey Ketch and Dark Holiday, something like that. He appeared in the Brian D. Palmer film Scarface in 1983 as Cop Mel Bernstein. In 1989, he played the role of Judge Stephen Wexler in Ghostbusters 2. He also portrayed the corporate National Security Advisor in the 1994 Harrison Ford thriller, Watch His Dad, Harrison Ford for you. Anyway, Career Present Danger. In 1997, he played the role in George Grayson in Beam. He appeared in Ward Leon Freeman, a Warren Clark in the 1999 film, The Hurricane. And in 2001, he portrayed Secret Service Agent Surrey in Rush Hour 2. Film critic Jim Arson once quipped that Yolen should be every movie ever made. On television, Yolen appeared in Star Trek Deep Space Nine in the episode called Do It. Wow. During the second season of the television series 24, he played the director of National Security Agency, Roger Stanton. He was nominated for the 1996 Emmy Award for this portrayal of Crime Boss, Jerome Bachelor, in the sitcom Frasier. And in the series Buffy the Vampire Slayer, he portrayed Quentin Travers have watchers consoles, something like that. Anyways, he also appeared in season 3 in college, something like that, in the episode called Return of the King. Student Arthur Golub. In 2009, he performed in People Speak, a documentary feature film that used dramatic and musical performance of the letters, diaries, speeches, and everyday Americans based on the historic our Zens, a people's history of the United States. In 2010, he appeared in the AMC series Republican. In 2016 and 2018, he appeared in 12 episodes of Ozark. At the time of his death, he been cast in the NBC Plus comedy series American Classic in the role of Linus. He died days before he was scheduled to begin filming the scenes. Okay? Beyond that thing. Well, he won the Lucille Marshall Awards for directing The Trip to Bonneville, the Central Pier in New York with Louis Smith, something like that. He directed a spot in New York City and joined for 8 years. His Columbus University Graduate School of Arts and HB Studio. His personal life. He dated Frank Donnelly from in 1971 and 1972. He was married to actress Gwen Rails until her death in 1993. Young's daughter, Claire Roshuel, from that, was wife of artist Ted Manuel. Roshuel died on January 31st, 2021. He was married to his second marriage was to Kristen Wallman, an actress that resigned to Bridgemanchester, New York. He died of cardiac arrest in New York City on June 10th, which was last Tuesday. He was 87 years old. My next step talk has to do with Amia Lewis. This is going to be a wow right there. This is on this reading. Anyways, born in Syria, Amia Lewis. She was an American broadcast journalist, human rights activist, two-time NAACP image award recipient. She was Howard University Amia, professional commentator and prominent U.S. HBCU committee member. Describes a bright star who was boys in the generation. She was served as a crucial role for the model and several television personalities for BET and MTV during the late 90s, when she became known for the scholarship and biography works of highly epic interviews when she conducted for the likes of Hillary Clinton. Oh my God, please! I was stirred by his death topic. Anyway, I was stirred by his death. Anyway, plane crash. Sorry. And Louis Rogers with that for the shows including Bet's Teens Summit, MTV's True Life, Dry While Back, something like that. Black, something like that. This edition of Louis commercial spot at MTV BJ on Total Request Live. Well after this her accomplished yet quality challenge CRL breaking news coverage over the August 25th, 2021 plane crash that caused the sudden and unexpected death of Isaiah, who was one of Lewis's close personal friends. Wow. Just weeks following Isaiah's death, one day before American society will rock with tragic events of 9/11, Lewis engaged in the planned debut of the Iron the Lewis Show, an aka American talk show that ran for just 2 seasons. An attempt to tackle just serious subjects that mentioned more sensitive violations, core politics, such as the Ricky Lane Show, Lake Show, something like that, Jerry Springer Show. At a break from the television, she became a correspondent for Insider, just for doing start of the entertainment industry. Lewis would then step away from the spotlight once again as she answered a call from the caregiver, their grandmother, during which time it was said it was called when the company came out. She took on the role of a caregiver for his grandmother and needed the time to get her home, writes Mosley. Instead of relying on others' repairs, she enrolled at the Los Angeles Community College. After earning an associate's degree in comedy, Wills returned to television to host a 2019 revival While You Were Out on the Variety Channel, TLC for short. In October 2020, Wills announced her Instagram followers that she had been battling stage 3 breast cancer for the previous 2 years. In October 2024, in an interview with Good Morning America, Wills said she was people to remember that love hard, that lived to love and didn't back away from problems. Love was life, it was okay letting you go. She died in hospital care surrounded by loved ones in Los Angeles home last Tuesday. She was 52 years old, 7 years after her cancer diagnosis. My next topic has to do with Brian Wilson, born Brian Douglas Wilson, okay? He was best known as an American musician, songwriter, singer, and record producer for co-founding the Beach Boys. Often called a genius who was a novel approaches of pop commission, the mastery of recordings and techniques. He was widely acknowledged as one of the best, most acknowledged of songwriters of the 20th century. His best known work is acknowledged as high production values, complex variety, some of that. Public harmonies and 20th organizations, low variety, and on these erosion beams, something like that. Anyway, it was also known for its virtual head voice and fire show during after the 70s. Wilson's formative influences includes George Gershwin, Four Freshmen, Phil Spector, and Burt Bacharach. In 1961, he began the professional career as a member of the Beach Boys, served as the band's songwriter and producer, co-lead vocalist, bassist, and keyboards, and the factual leader. After singing with Capitol Records in 1962, he began his first pop musician career from writing, arranging, producing, and performing his own material. He also produced such acts such as The Honeys and Hot American Spring. By the mid-60s, he had written or co-written more than 24 U.S. top boy hits. According to number one Surf City 1963, I'll Get Around 1961, Force with that, Help Me Rhonda 1965, and Good Variations 1966. Something like that. He is considered among the first music producers and the first rock producers to apply the studio as an instrument. Facing long struggles with mental health illness, he also had a nervous breakdown late 1964. He resigned from regular concert touring and focused on songwriting and production lead for works such as the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds, which I have the 50th anniversary in the house somewhere. And his first credited solo release, Call I Know, both in 1986, as well as unfinished Small. By the late 1960s, his production and mental health has similarly declined, leading to periods marked by correlations with that of reacting and subsequent abuse. His first professional comeback yield to almost solo effort, The Beach Boys' Love You in 1987. In the 80s, he formed a commercial, creative, and business partnership with the psychologist Eugene Leahy. Relaunched his solo career and solo title about Brian Wilson in 1988. Wilson was associated with Atlantic in 1991, and toured regularly in 1999 and 2022. He completed his version of Small in 2004. He earned his first greatest acclaim as solo artist. Something like that. Anyway, her writing was popular music relation art form for that. Wilson's accomplishment as a producer helped him accomplish an area commission label sign acts. He is regarded as a important figure to make music genres and movements, including California sound, art pop, psychedelia, chamber pop, progressive music, punk, outsider, sunshine pop. Since the 80s, his influence has extended to styles such as post-punk, indie rock, emo, dream pop, smash ski, chill wave. He received numerous of industry awards, including 2 Grammy Awards and Kennedy City Honors, as well as nominations for the Golden Globe Award. Part-time Emmy Award. He was included and inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 1988 and the Songwriters Hall of Fame 2000. His laboratory career was dominated in 2014 Bobbick, Love, and Mercy. He died for Wednesday, of natural cause. He was 82 years old, just days before his 83rd birthday. The next step topic has to do with Charlie Gaddy. Born that name, he was a American television anchorman for WRAL TV, Raleigh, North Carolina. He anchored the evening news for over 20 years. He retired in 1994. Gaddy was born in Roxborough, North Carolina on September 17, 1931. Later grew up in Marshall, North Carolina. He was later graduated from Wharton College. His later appearance on television was a South announcer at NBC in 1960. Started working at the radio station WPTV for 10 years. In his 40s, he moved to Raleigh he joined WRAL TV in 1970 to host Good Morning Charlie. After working various on the production station, Gaddy was named anchor of the evening newscast in 1984. By the end of the decade, he was major part of the #1 rated Action News 5 team with co-anchor Bobby Weatherman Bob D. Bargeron and sports anchor Rich Barner. In 1981, Bargeron accepted an offer to CNN. Wow. And then Gaddy became a sole anchor until Andrew Olga joined in 1983, and Tom Sawyer became the news sports anchor in 1982. On July 1st, 1994, Gaddy retired from WRAL TV after 24 years, and in 2006 he joined a reunion newscast with Bachelor, DeBarnation, and Tom Sawyer, although he appeared in WRAL Listens. The Gaddy Center for Children was named in honor of Gaddy's public service in support of University United Surrey in Paisley in North Carolina. He was named Mid-South Emmy Award Civil Circle. He died last Thursday. He was 93 years old. Wow. The next step topic has to do with Bessie Gay. Born that name, she was an American actress and yodeler. She was born in Waterford, Connecticut on February 2nd, 1929. Wow. Charles and Helen Gay, something like that, who were also entertainers. She appeared in film and television and radio shows, something like that. Her film career most concerned in the bit part roles during the golden age of Hollywood, such as Armageddon the Fall in 1948 and 1947, and then American Adventures of Tom Sawyer in the same year, and Mystery Plane in 1949. Final film role was in 1943. Throughout her singing career, she worked alongside the likes of Dale Evans, Stuart Allen, and Tex Williams. She won a Wyoming competition in California 2 years in a row in the mid-1940s. She has several music recordings from the label, such as Capitol Records and Decca Records. Gay was married to Thomas Cashin between 1954 and 2005. The couple had 5 children. She died on June 13th, 2025, which is yesterday. 2 days ago, last Friday. She was 96 years old. The next step, and the last step topic is Melissa Hortman. Born Melissa Huckleback. Sorry, I'm announcing it. Anyway, she was an American warrior, Democratic former Labor politician for Hamilton County, Minnesota. She represented the northern parts of the Twin Cities nomination area in the Minnesota House of Representatives from 2005 and her assassination yesterday. She served as the state House leader from 2017 to 2019. She was 61st Speaker of Minnesota House of Representatives from 2019 to 2025. During her tenure, She highway transportation, marginal human rights, police perform government to control policies. It was the chief offer the state solar energy standard. Yesterday, Horman's husband was assassinated in their home in Parkland Park, Minnesota. The suspect was married as 57-year-old Vance Wilford Boger. It was also eventually attempted to assassinate Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman, in which shooting that same day. She was born on Farley, Minnesota, May 27, 1970. She grew up in St. Lake Park in Alabama and became interested in being a politician at age 10 while watching covering the 1980 presidential election. She graduated and played in high school in Blaine, Minnesota in 1988, something like that. Home received a Bachelor's of Arts, something like that. Was a manager of philosophy, something like that. Professor of Science in Boston University in 1991. And George Dr. Comlies from the University of Minnesota Law School in 1995. He was born in. Anyway, Master of Public Administration from Harvard Kennedy School in 2018. Anyway, her early career began with this, okay? She worked as a Harlan, United States Senate, and Al Gore and John Kerry. Worked with Judge John, Somerville while in law school, something like that. Anyway, she served in the Brooklyn Park City Human Relations Commissions and worked as Assistant County for Hamilton County. She first gained public attention in 1997 as warrior in a case involving housing demonstrations by landlords, like that. She won $490,181 civil reward for her clients, which has been the largest Duchess award for State University. She said history, something like that. Minnesota House of Representatives. Harman was elected in the Minnesota House of Representatives in 2004, defeating Republican President Stephen Sabbaty Halson. It was re-elected every 2 years thereafter until her death. She was then first ran successfully in 1998 and then again in 2002. Harman served as a persistent Majority Leader in 2007 until 2010. Wow. It was Majority Whip for 2011, 2012, for 2013, 2014, something like that. She served as the House Speaker for Potential and Chair of the Energy Policy Committee for that. She served as the Deputy Majority Leader from 2015 until 2016. After Paul Trajan retired, Harman selected the conscious Majority Leader from 2017 to 2018. But the DFL conscious took the Majority 2018 election. The colleagues elected their spouse Speaker of the House. In her first term, Harman's outspoken measures with the North Star Commercial Rail Line, which runs in the Strat, which she also supported the new stadium for Minnesota Twins. Anyways, she was also mental issues and efforts to bring the 2020 Summer Olympics to Minnesota. She also pro-choice, something like that. Supported gun control policies and opposed vote elimination of anyway and violations in 2008 she managed the FAL, some of that, 4 eliminations during the successful attempt to override then Governor Minnesota Tim Parliamenty's veto of the gas tax increase. While chairing the Injury Policy Committee, she was chief officer of the state's solar energy standards and community solar walls. She served as the major leader of the Minnesota House of Representatives from 2017 to 2019. The 51st Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives from 2019 to 2025. In April 2017, Harman drew attention that she criticized the Republican representatives playing a card game retiring room of the House chamber from during discussion on the public safety budget bill. Especially she called attention of the fact that the game was according to Democratic woman for equality Marbury's was delivering personal speeches. Harman continued to back her statement while some Republicans called her for resign. In 2019, Minnesota Public Radio called Harman a quiet and sorry, not sorry attitude. In January 2020, Harman helped navigate the police reform bill that limits the use of neck restraints and chokeholds, from offering commercial warrior-style training. Agreed to independent state unit to investigate one of the police officer killed someone's I'm not gonna say it. From the start of 94 Minnesota last year in January 2025 until early February, she led the boycott House of Sessions to deny Republicans according to conduct business by that. Republican Lisa Dumas, that was led to the Speaker on February 6th. A power sharing agreement was reached. She was served again as minority leader until March 17th. When a special election was created at a time between the parties in the House, the Taliban changed the DFL leader. She was granted civilian powers along DMOB. Now for assassination. On June 14th, 2025, Harman and her husband was shot and killed in their home by a suspect impersonating a police officer. A London lawmaker, John Hoffman, and his wife were also shot in relation to the incident. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said the shooting appeared to be politically motivated assassination. Suspect in the shooting was identified as 57-year-old Vance Wilbur Butler. Boca Park Police Chief Mark Bodley said Butler was not a real police officer at all costs and was clearly impersonating one. Butler was running the gradual ministry organization having illegally been organized in 1993 and private security company with his wife. He had preached against open rights and the rights of LGBTQ community people. My eventual list of other targets was found in the car at the scene, which includes pro-choice and advocates and politicians Harman, Hoffman, Walz, and other Democratic politicians. After being appointed to the governors and paid 60 members were forced to the public board in 2016 by then Governor of Minnesota, Mark Dayton, who was reappointed in 2018 to a 4-year term by Walz. Artisan accolades. In 2019, Minnesota Milk Producers Association recognized Hartman as the Regulators of the Year for work. Securing the 2019 Agriculture, Rural Development, and Housing budget, including investing $8 million in dairy and investments. Relief and anticipate. Anyway, Harman was won awards in the 2020 Congress of Bond War. She also won awards for Coalition Minnesota. Her personal life, okay? Harman was married to Mark Harman, with whom she had 2 children. They live in Baldwin Park, Minnesota. Harman was Roman Catholic and taught Sunday schools in Blaine. Now, let's do a more massage regarding these 13 death topics right now. Thank you. Recipes these 13 people I have just mentioned in the Death Topics mood. Yeah, it's just sad to me, I know. But, yeah. Anyway, the next topic I'm going to discuss is Toy Story 5, okay? Now, the big new revival is a tablet, okay? But Woody, Buzz, and Jessie will battle in the tablet in Toy Story 5, which is scheduled to hit theaters just about a year from now. Now, it comes to my attention that Pixar is giving the whole school toys Then we might acknowledge a tablet, which I have an iPad, by the way. This building is called a Woolly Pad. Anyway, during the studio's Friday showcase and initially International Animation Film Festival in France, CCO, something like that, Pete Doctor, revealed that Toy Story 5 villains of Lily Pad, a sneaky and pricky tablet that convinces 8-year-old Barney Anderson that friends in games and on the device meet dusty old toys in the closet. First concept art shows the flop-faced tablet moving over Buzz, Jessie, and Bullseye like a touchscreen tie in a toy box. Well, as you can probably foresee, this is a battle between analog toys and always on tech. You can stream Toy Story movies on Disney Plus. 1 through 4 Disney Plus, anyway. Lily Pad the video top of the jam-packed with the Disney Animation and Pixar showcase. With Disney, the company, more of the update release dates. Never footage and a couple of all new original films. Toy Story 5 The Enemy is Tech. Wow. The premiere combines the Toy Story 5 with Anderson giving the Lily Pad for school chat and online games. Now the tablet decides for Anderson toys, including Woody, Buzz, and Jessie, are holding for her back. Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, and John Cusack all returning, while Ernie Hobson steps in as a comment call. Honoring the late Carl Weathers. Anyway. Doctor shared the opening scene of Toy Story 5, which showed a great call of standard Buzz Lightyears. Starting to escape from the desert island, Toy Story 5 is set to premiere release on June 19th, 2026, okay? Pixar announced 2 new original films, okay? Now, Daniel Chalk's Hoppers scheduled release on March 6, 2026, turning the initial heist of the creator power caper 14-year-old Maple uploads her mom and the robotic beaver to save her local pond through the highway project. Now, Gale is saying on summer 2026, summer 2027, something like that. Gale is a natural black and white black cat and Venice, Vinny, something like that, who burned through the book most of his 9 lives during jobs for Finley's mob boss. Now, questioning whether he wasted most lives, Mel some an unexpected friendship that took following Gavin proposed. The film will not be shot in living storybook style, which is new to Pixar. And we got some very new footage from Zootopia 2 and Elio, which is going to be exciting. Gary Bush, Walt Disney Animation Studios, CCO, and Peter Wright, director of Zootopia 2, showcase some new footage and images for the exciting sequel, which will be coming out in November this year. The audience also got the 27-minute sizzle reel of Elio, the comedy coming out Age Adventure, which opens June 20th, which is coming up this Friday. And that's our topic for today. I was going to read Incredibles 3 topic and we're going to discuss, but we'll do it next week. But anyway, and we're going to discuss one more topic to read, and that is, of course, Father's Day. We're going to celebrate it. We're going to do it right now, okay? Father's Day is a day assigned for honoring one's fathers, which also is fatherhood. Parents responds, as well as the influence of fathers in society. Father's Day combines several celebrations honoring family members, such as Mother's Day and some countries, Siblings Day, Grandparents' Day. The day is held on various days around the planet. Their regions maintain their own traditions honoring fatherhood. Catholic countries of Europe celebrate on March 19th and St. Joseph's Day since the Middle Ages. United States, Father's Day was found in the state of Washington State, something like that, where Sarah Smart died in 1910. Wow. Father's Day is a recognized public holiday and Maria in some parts of Spain were recognized as such as Italy until 1977. The national holiday in Somalia and equally modestly in South Korea, which celebrates Parents' Day. So there you go. That's our topics for today. And that wraps up for Crazy Bunch Web Show number 110. I hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one, babe. Crazy Bunch Web Show episode 111, which is going to be a celebration to my 30th birthday, the first part of my 30th birthday episode. Very exciting. My 30 episode part 1. Anyways, till next time, suggest by baby. We can work Crazy Bunch Web Shows. We guys pretty soon. Till then, out. See ya.